Drop the armor flaps. Call general quarters.
All hands to general quarters. Man your battle station. Battle station's manned and ready, Captain.
Very well. Run up the battle flag.
Aye, aye, sir. Battle flag!
Full speed.
Full speed.
Sand Pebbles makes me feel a little empty inside when it ends.
Oh yeah, it was. I don't think he intended to be an anti-Vietnam film, but that's basically what it was about. What's a gunboat doing in China, And all you're going to do is end up wasting lives, which is essentially what Sand Pebbles is all about. And particularly the racism in the movie toward the Chinese and the evident racism toward the Vietnamese during that era. So. But I just think it's just an incredibly well-made film.
Now, there's that moment where Mako gets taken hostage and, the boat's in an uproar and the rebels are in an uproar and McQueen aims and blows them away to end the whole situation. And then the whole scene just goes silent, like devastation just shadows the boat.
And the interesting thing when you watch Robert Wise films, since he did come out of editing, it's apparent in his direction, and his films are all superbly crafted with the editing. But that's also part of his direction he would do. He knew where that scene was going to be cut, or a shot was going to be cut when he did it. And he just had a great intuitive sense. Plus, he also got really good performances out of, when you look at his films, the performances are wonderful. Susan Hayward and I Want to Live, I mean, that got her an Oscar, and his work with Rita Moreno and George Chakiris in West Side Story, they both won Oscars. He was very good with actors as well as knowing his craft.
I met Richard Crenna once, and I remember I said, I go to him, I go, Sand Pebbles, loved it. He goes, really? I don't hear that very often. He goes, I hear Troutman, because he was also in the Rambo movies. But
right, yeah.
Like, I don't hear Sand Pebbles very often. He's like, how old are you, kid? I'm like, well, I'm like old enough to rent the Sand Pebbles. I mean, come on. But there is some great action sequences in that film, especially when they try to run the blockade.
Fire, boat deck aft! Fire, boat deck aft! We'll fire! We'll fire!
Stop engine.
Cease firing! Cease firing!
Get that fire under control.
Aye, aye, sir. All available men to the boat deck! All available men to the boat deck! All right, slide it out! Clear the hoses! Clear the hoses! Get some more pressure, Frank. For God's sake, give us more pressure on the fire main! Okay! Hurry up! Get the sand up there, Wilkie! Line clear! One over here! Get one around the back!
Captain, Mr. Bordellos reports the fire is under control. Very well. Hold the ship in mid-channel. We're drifting out of range.
Aye, sir. Fire's out, sir.
Very well. We're going to grapple and board the command junk.
Aye, aye, sir.
Mr. Bordellos, you'll take the con when we board. Keep the main battery and the machine guns manned for the run-in. We'll board in 2 waves. Chief, you'll take the second.
Aye, aye, sir.
Holman, I want you and Harris in that second group. Your primary mission will be to cut that bamboo cable.
Aye, sir.
All right, let's get underway.
Aye, aye, sir. Full speed ahead! Chief!
Main battery, commence firing. Machine guns open fire.
Aye, aye, sir. Open fire!
That is a superbly when, again, it's one of those things when you go like, oh my God, you got a boat on water and it's moving and you've got to direct that. And the continuity of that, of turning the bend, first seeing the blockade across the river and approaching it and preparing for battle. It's just superbly done. I don't know how long it took him to do that, but boy, does it work.
Yeah.
And it's all, you can look at that 9 ways from Sunday and it's like all the stuff matches and the boat's always the right distance where it should be from the blockade for the next bit of action. Superb bit of direction on that sequence.
You know, again, the casting is phenomenal, including sort of, I wouldn't say he's like the opposite number for McQueen, but Simon Oakland plays like, you know,
Oh yeah.
typical time. And, you know, our today's audience will probably know him from like Black Sheep Squadron or, you know, he was directed by a friend of mine who nobody liked in the business, regrettably, except myself, it appears, Michael Winner, who said Simon Oakland would show up and have coffee and you'd say action and all of a sudden he was the meanest guy on the planet for 3 minutes. And then you'd say cut and he'd pat you on the back and say, I'm going to go get us a couple of bagels. You know,
he was just one of those incredible, reliable character actors. And Robert Weiss, of course, he used him in Sand Pebbles. He was in West Side Story. He was in I Want to Live. I mean, he was just very dependable, would show up and deliver the goods. You know, he'd come in and maybe do whatever is 3 or 4 days work on a film, but it's always very solid. He was very good in Bullet as well as Steve McQueen's boss. And it may have been as a result of Sand Pebbles. Steve McQueen said, oh, get that Simon Oakland guy in here. You know, we can rely on him. So, you know, very good actor.
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.